I'm Toraya Miller. I am with GSBA, and I'm the Membership and Programs Manager. I think that those that are struggling with a way to want to start something or even unwrap something. And I'll give you an example. For our purposes at GSBA, we actually have a racial equity team as a part of our staff. Here we are in the center of all this unrest that was going on. We were looking at our staff members going, how do we help them get through this? How do I help myself get through this? How, what are we doing around this? And besides just doing these type of keeping it real type processes, we got to pause and look inside. So we thought, let's just do what some others were doing, which is, let's look at the book. So you want to talk about race, and then just kind of peruse it and then have an open discussion with the staff. So we would order the book, have everybody read it, and then we're going to come together and do this, talk to the racial equity team. And I said, let's just bounce this against Lindsay. And she, and so we were talking to her about this, and and we thought we were doing okay until she's like, I think we need to talk about how y'all communicate with each other first before we even go there. And we're like, what you talking about? And you do that thing that the dog does when he looks at you a little odd and you kind of go like that. That's basically what we all did on the screen. And we're like, we communicate fine. She's like, I'm not sure. Talk to me about what's going on. So we shared what was happening in our world. And she's like, okay, so let's really think about this. And so that's when we hit the brakes. We hit the reset button and we said, okay, we're going to stop and do the Enneagram work. It was really intense work that if you really put yourself into it and really release yourself to wanting to be a part of it, it works. And so it has worked with our organization. We have pivoted in a lot of the things we do. We are still pivoting in that work. We still reach other trainings, but it was her that in her way of navigating through those conversations that I think bridged us all together. And what was great for us is we already had a relationship with Lindsay, so it made it a little bit easier to talk. But even if we didn't have that relationship, I felt that she would be ideal person to do that type of work. I think that her organization is very strategic to navigate you through. There's so many other facets that she does that I know that she'd be fantastic at. I've seen tangible assets from myself personally and how I look at things. I look at things with a different lens now. And also I see how our staff and our operations of things have changed. One of the things I said is we continued our racial equity training, because we wanted to make sure that grew. And now it's like, now the rest of the staff are like, yeah, we want to be involved in that too, from new employees to how we put programming out there. How do we disseminate information? How do we honor the space that we're in? All these different things that before I think was almost like a check in the box approach to, wait a minute, are we doing business as usual or are we really trying to move this needle? And who's sitting at our table? So all of this has shifted. All of this has shifted. Again, we had done a lot of this work from the identity side, but we did not do it from a racial equity side. And looking at it, I'm very cautious about using the word equity versus equality because I think they have two very different things. And that was another thing that came out of that learning with Lindsay is that we learned more about what it means to really be equitable. So everything that we've done now is through this racial lens or this new lens that we have learned. And I don't think that would have been navigated as eloquently or in a way that we have approached it without having Lindsay's expertise help us move from point A to where we are now. I absolutely adore Lindsay. I think she's amazing. I think she's a wealth of knowledge. I don't think she gets the credit that she deserves. I would love to see her nationally syndicated if I possibly could have anything to do with it because I think everybody needs to get a little, like I said, get a little touch of Lindsay. She's amazing at what she does and she is a phenomenal person and full of wealth and knowledge. And I just wish her the very, 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 very best.